Assalamu alaikum. I was traveling all the night and I just came in, and I would like this session to be a little interactive, and maybe you might be seeing some of the slides which I will not be talking about, and some of you may be knowing me also because I have been talking on the cloud and big data for a while. And today I felt like being a consumer, from the consumer's perspective, how we need to understand the cloud, big data, and all those emerging technologies which are being introduced. And Gartner, they came in with the nexus of forces, I think last year somewhere in October, and then IDC also, they call this as a third generation of third platform. So these emerging technologies has really transformed the world. Basically, we are living in a world where the technology is being evolved, and it is transforming the personal life and the social life and the business life. The business are being transformed, and there are new ways the business is being conducted. Is unlike before. I have been, this you can see it as an agenda, but I will be skipping some of the slides. However, I will be talking on the cloud security aspect, as it's like a shared responsibility, and then we'll be talking in general the architecture, what is SOA, what is the network architecture, and what is application architecture, database, and all of that kind of stuff. So this session you can consider as a vendor neutral session. I'm not belongs to any vendor, and these are my personal views, and this is my personal experience. I have been here for the past 20 years in the industry, and also Ninja framework. It is some kind of framework which I'm visualizing that we should take the best from the best. Whether you talk about the PMI and ITEL and CNME and so on. So we'll be talking on those aspects. So basically, I have been, as I told you, like you guys also seems to be very well experienced. So we have been dealing with kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, and terabyte, that kind of amount of data. Recently, we started listening the new unit of measure, which is petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, and yottabyte, and then again there is something beyond that, something called gigabyte and something like that. So the data is being evolved from every single object, whether it is a computational object or it is a non-computational object. As I can bet, most of you have the smartphones, and you have a kind of connectivity. You are connected to your own enterprise network. You have connectivity to your social media, social cloud, and so on. So we are actually in 1980s, when the time the TCP/IP protocol was evolved, and that time the challenge for those who has introduced that protocol was like having a connectivity between the PC to the PC. That was how the internet was evolved. Then those PCs were geographically scattered, and then they have got connectivity, and then and each PC knows how the other PCs where it is located, and then the transmission and all of that protocols has been evolved. Now we are in the next generation. So we started from the traditional IT, which is like a client server environment. We have moved to a next generation where we are in the super connected world. So from the connectivity, which was a major concern, I remember actually, I would like to share some of this session. I told you I don't have a kind of script, so whatever it comes in my mind and whatever like an experience I would like to share with you. I remember a couple of 10 to 20 years before, when the wireless network was being available at different boundaries, and it was considered as the biggest security threat. Because how come my enterprise network and the data could be available for somebody who is not supposed to access, or it should not be available in the first case itself, and that was like a big threat. And now we see all this vacuum, what you are seeing, like you have a kind of connectivity which is invisible. The data is being emitted which we cannot see. So there are different mechanisms, whether you talk about the Bluetooth and different wireless and different stuff. So now we are in the super connected world where each one of you at least have like 2 to 3 kind of connected devices, even the embedded systems. When I talk about embedded system, I would like to make a kind of tag. Cisco, I believe, they came up, they said by the year 2015, I believe, 2016, the 50 billion devices will be connected to the internet, and that they call as the Internet of Things. So basically, the Internet of Things has already been started. You talk about like PlayStation. When I just updated the PlayStation, and when so from your mobile, whether it's an Android or an iOS, you will be able to connect to that your TV, and you will be able to have a kind of control. It doesn't have to be a new TV or something like that. So all those electrical appliances, they have a kind of connectivity. So the connectivity is being emerged, and all those automobiles and different devices and the different objects which you see, they have a kind of connectivity. So every single object what you see is generating a kind of data, and that data it has a value. So now from the business side, it is not about the technology. When I said it is not about the technology, I remember most of initially, now the cloud and big data, now we are like understanding, and there are a lot of work has been done in terms of developing a kind of framework. NSIT also they have launched a guide on these aspects. So what I was saying here, so we are actually emerging to a second phase. It is not just a jargon, or it is not something a kind of buzzword. So there is from the security aspect, there is nothing came up as an additional. Security was a concern, and security is a concern, and security will remain as a concern. So the only thing you have to back up with a proper governance. You have to see what are the applications you have, what are the where you are delivering those applications, what are the services you are delivering to different regions, and so on. Your data center where you need to go inside, and you have to see what it has. So that inventory will help. Coming back to the cloud, now we are talking about the operational model, and there is a service delivery model. From the service delivery side, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. And they call something as SaaS, which is anything as a service. It could be security as a service, and so on. And that's how we have been listening, and this is how we need to understand basically, before you talk about implementing the security and orchestrating a solution, you need to understand not only the technical aspect, but also the business expectations. What are the business priorities we have? What are our strategies? What is relevant to one customer, it may not be relevant to the other customer. So we need to find the relevance. What is relevant for us, which can bring the profitability, which can bring the value, which can make us to be a little bit unique, and so on. Now coming back to the private cloud, community cloud, hybrid cloud, and public cloud. Mostly what I have seen in Saudi Arabia, especially the large enterprise organization, they focus on the private and hybrid. Because the public cloud, still there are certain answers there are certain questions where we haven't got the answer from the big vendors. So like data, keeping the data at its own jurisdiction, it is one of the challenge, and it is like one of the regulatory compliance where the company or enterprise has to meet. So those kind of things are there. So my role here is not about giving an answer, it is about exploring what could be the causes of concerns, what are the areas where we really need to look into it, and so many things. And as you might have seen, like a cloud definitely has brought the benefit. There is no doubt on that. And whenever I am saying cloud, it is about the data center where you have certain characteristics. The characteristics where you can increase the CPU, where you can bring the resources as and when it is required, where like a CFO and CEO, he want to pay for the service when he need it. Like we have Hajj season, we have different seasons. So during this season, I am supposed to pay. Me as an owner of the company, why I have to carry forward that legacy and those, what you call, those depreciations on my assets and licenses and so on. So those traditional things has been, it is going away. And as per the statistics from the Gartner, more investment for the IT is being spent by the non-IT department. So it is no more control in the IT. However, IT has a role to play, and they will play, and they need to understand from the business aspects also. So now when we are talking about IT and business, we are talking about two different silos. Mostly what we have seen, the business, they think that IT, they don't understand what is the business value, and IT, they think that the business, they don't understand that it cannot be simply done. It's not just a plug, I just plug in and the service will be delivered. So these are the silos are there, and we need to see, and these are the technologies basically, they are helping they are helping the business to complement the business, and they are helping how to bring the gap to be reduced. So like a rapid elasticity, so as and when it is required and so on. So I will move to the other one. Cloud security best practices. Basically, we are also one of the large company, and we have done like security, before we implement the security best practices. What we have done, basically, we have asked the business to identify the business risk. And then from the IT side, we ask the IT to identify what are their internal operational risks. So, and then we register all those risks together, and then from the internal and external auditors we add in. So we just try to develop a kind of risk register where all the risks have been registered. So once you know what is your risk, then only you will be able to resolve the risk. But the problem, whenever we talk about the cloud, we think it's about the technology. No friends, it is not about the technology. Cloud, big data, and all these emerging technologies, we are talking about a business benefit. It is more about the business. It is less about the technology. The technology was there. However, now the intelligence has came in as a part of the DNA of the technology, where it can complement, where it can contribute to your business. And this is what it makes the difference. Why the non-IT business manager, they are so much excited about this kind of, it look like, and even there is debate basically from when we are changing from the CapEx to the OpEx model. Yes, it differs, it differs. So it differs from the business architecture you have, it differs from many aspects. So, and even when you are talking about like a software oriented architecture solutions, I am a software developer, and from the software development point of view, when I look at the security, and basically what I have noted, especially in Saudi Arabia and most of the region, when we talk about the security, we think it is only the network security. It is not just about the network security, it is not just about those appliances which we need to buy. Yes, I think what the vendor they are doing a great job. They are actually helping the business. So it doesn't mean that they are not making the money. Yes, they are making a good money. It is a win situation for them, and also it is win situation for us as a consumer itself. So we are in the era where there is a win-win situation for both of us. But you need to be wise enough. You need to know what you need. You don't pay or you don't commit and so on. And for that, Gartner they came in and they said there has to be a brokerage service, because we as a consumer, we may not be able to make a huge investment on the resources to understand all the different technologies and so on. And to tell you the truth, not only the cloud is providing an easy and self-service provisioning where a normal business user can can request for a service and can subscribe for a service, and he will get it. I remember even for the password change, it used to be like a big headache for the business, and they used to use their contacts and so on, and which is no more there now. So, so we are actually transforming every aspect of the business and every aspect of this technology. I think I need to little bit slow down. I'm missing some of the stuff. So there are protocols which are like, you call about the REST protocol, you talk about the SOAP protocol. There are new protocols are being emerged, and we are, although there is a simplicity in provisioning of the service from the software and IT point of view, but also we are confusing to the business side. There is a kind of statistic, I don't know whether how much it is accurate. There are 250,000 technologies are available in the world at the moment. So we are in the disruption, and that's how it is called a disruptive technology, because there is a disruption is happening. Unless you emerge or you converge all those different forces and you align those forces to your strategy, to your business direction, then only the value and then only the benefit can be leveraged. And we are talking about masking and encryption of data, and those are the old stuff which is we have been listening. And yes, the security, what I should say, the scope of security has increased with the inception of cloud, with the big data, where, because from every object is giving the data. So now security, it is a concern, and it was a concern, and it will remain a concern, as I was saying. So we need, there are more sophisticated techniques, tools available. Whether you talk about the appliances, there are some heuristics based, there are certain algorithms which can help you. And even it can not only those predictability is also embedded in those algorithms. So before actually the denial of service attack could happen, then you will be informed that yes, there are things are happening which may not be a normal characteristics of your operation, IT operations. And of course you have to see what are the logs, what are the event viewers, and you have to have those monitoring tools and techniques has to be in place. And definitely the cooling stuff which the gentleman has explained, and it was good for me also, it is a good dose. So we need those kind of cooling systems in order to improve the performance of your IT infrastructure for all the software applications which are running in your data center and across the data center and so on. So there are certain principles I just try to list down, and I just try to, these things I just copied from the different places and just try to put it together here. So it is about, there are certain best practices where you need to isolate the security zones, and you have to give the least privileges for those service accounts which are being used for the cloud services. Because I remember even, this is what I also used to do the mistake, and this is what the mistake is being practiced. We always care about the password protection. It is about the user protection. It is about the username more than the password. And especially the service accounts which are integral part of delivering your service. Those are the accounts which are really responsible and which caters not only deliver the service, but also that is a major threat. For the sake of simplicity, most of our developers, what they do is they either put 1234 or a blank password, because they know that nobody will come in and check in the Windows services which you are running. So if you run a scan, you will find a lot of service accounts will have either an easy password or a password which is blank. So those kind of aspects you need to really care about it. And when you are orchestrating a solution which is based on the cloud, which is not only taking or integrating and unifying the services which you are delivering as part of your data center, but also you are taking some of the services from the cloud vendor or from the cloud service provider. Yes, we think cloud is not, it is not something which is very relevant. If it was not today, then it is going to be relevant tomorrow for you. And I remember in one of my events in London, one of the ladies, she's a VP for the Gartner, and she was saying that when you are designing a software as a software solution by using your SOA architecture, when you are orchestrating a solution, that time there are certain legacy applications also we have. There are certain J2EE, there are certain applications which has been running and which has been serving to the business, and they are keep on serving. And we as a business manager, we say, don't touch that one. When the things are working, let it work. Yes, that's a good habit, and I think that's what I also used to practice. But before it is too late, you need to identify those legacy applications which will not comply to your strategic direction. You need to identify them and you need to kill them before it hurts your direction, it hurts your strategy. So it is not about whatever it is there from the line of business applications or from the applications which has been delivered or implemented by different providers and which is serving to the business. It is good, you need to integrate, you need to unify, but also you need to identify. So I would like to, at the end of my slide, I would like to show there is a Ninja framework. So it is not a commercial stuff, so I just try to take different things from the different frameworks and try to put up in a sequential order. However, there is a lot of work need to be done, and there are a lot of templates are there which can help the business to orchestrate, and I will talk on that particular aspect as well. So the last point here, universal enterprise security monitoring integration. So when you are monitoring the security, you are not just monitoring the parametric security of your data center, you are not just monitoring the servers which are in place from the firmware upgrades and from the operating systems upgrade, from your routers, switches, firewalls, NLBs and different stuff which you have in your data center. All they require an upgrades and all they need to be up to date. And you need to see what are the ports available, whether you have done a quality of service on those particular ports. And there are different, I think, vendors who can talk in more detail and more technically. And I'm not having that much knowledge in order to talk on that particular aspect to more depth. So now we are talking about the operating systems, we are talking about application servers, not only application servers, not only the database servers, not only those web servers, but also you need to see and seek for the possibility how you can unify not only in terms of versions, but also from the vendor side as well, because I'm not promoting that you should stick to one vendor, but every solution will be always a heterogeneous environment, otherwise it will not be called as a solution itself. So when you are integrating all of that, and when you are you are also trying to find a way where you integrate your distributed environment, where you might be delivering certain service in different geographic locations. So all of that, so you have to monitor. Once you monitor, then only you will be able to identify what are the security threats I have and which vendor. Maybe it could be a Microsoft, maybe it could be Cisco, maybe it could be Blue Code, it could be anyone. So you will be able to see and seek how you can fix that particular security breach which could happen. So we need to have a holistic view on the security. We need to see, like we call from the solution, from the SAP BI business objects, and we talk about like business integrated view where you can see the profitability of the business, where you integrate different elements, different database, different ERPs, different line of business and all. So you will have a holistic view. You will have a holistic view where you will be able to understand. And by the way, I used to tell to my own kids 2 points. One is about identifying the problem. If you don't know what is our problem, how I will be able to solve the problem? So identifying the problem it is like half of the resolution or it is more than half, then you will be able to fix it. Because I have no doubt that if once somebody knows that there is a problem, he will have the capability to fix the problem as well. But what happens when you talk about something, you talk with an IT or you talk, yes, I know it. You talk about there is a problem, yes, yes, of course I know. Then why you haven't done? Why you haven't done? Why you haven't taken a corrective action? It is not about how much you know, it is about how much you do it. In one of my previous session, I was talking about the CIO's perspective. We were talking about Chief Information Officer, and information is given. And information is given for what? Just to be informed? No. Information is like a raw. In Jeddah, in one of the event I was talking from the Red Sea, the water, the salty water is like a source where the information. Now you have to apply certain tools, techniques, you have to compute, you have to try to see how you can bring the value so that a knowledge or a value can be driven which will help your business to get benefit. So, you know what is the breach, you know what are the threats, but you are not taking an action. So what is the use of that information which is not being followed with an action? So I'll just move on to the other slide. I need the timekeeper to help me out with the time. So when on this particular slide, it is a shared responsibility. A security is a shared responsibility. It is not about the terms, the protocols, the intrusions and vulnerabilities and all of that, no. It is about the shared responsibility. We used to say, IT guys or business guys. It's not about that. It is a shared, it is a collaborative effort. It is a unified, everybody is working to serve as a common, for a common cause, for a common purpose, for a common strategic objectives. And that's how you need to visualize. It is not the time to work in silos. So when you are talking about the security, we are talking about different teams. Within the IT, we are talking about different teams from the business. We are talking about the supply chain. We are talking about your finance, accounts, and so many, every aspect of your business. So I'm trying to say it's a platform security, database security, network security, and so on. So it is a shared responsibility. This is the theme which I would like to celebrate on this slide. This is something maybe you might be seeing. I would like to talk on the little bit on this one. Cloud maturity model. So many business people and senior executives after the event, they used to come. Do you think we are ready to go to the cloud? Sometimes it is not, it is not about the answer. It is about the question. Because your answer could be invalid if the question is changed. So you need to find out and identify and stick to your question. What is your question? The question should be, okay, that's the transformation is there. With regards to the IT, before you talk about the cloud, before you, security is there. Security, it is an identifying process. It is about understanding. It is about mitigating. It is about improving. It is about alignment, and it is about the transformation. So before I used to say you have to go to your data center, being an IT pro, before you talk about the security. What do you have? What are the applications? As I said, what are the services we are delivering? Basically, we need to start from the services. And what I have seen within the IT, since I also belongs to a core IT, maybe I talk a little bit on the business side as well. So, as an IT, you have to see what you have in the data center. What are the services you have? Sometimes what we see, like network team, they tell it's an application team, they will say, no, it's the third party vendor and all of that. No, there is a service owner. So different data center has a lot of IT inventory. Hardware inventory, network inventory, software inventory, license inventory, backup inventory, and so on, different responsibilities, different authority matrix, and this on. We need to identify all of that And then we need to see for the possibility how we can standardize those elements, those pieces, those heterogeneous services. What I have seen, like there are certain services, whether you talk about the e-banking, you talk about the line of business, and several things. And each service has different database server. It has different database version, and we are ending up paying like for 20 or 30 enterprise license for the SQL server as an example. So it is about you need to standardize. If you have an Oracle environment, just go and make an Oracle as much as you can, because you already made an investment, and you have to see. Because you are gonna go, whether you want it or you don't want it, the cloudization or the big data, it is going to come. It is going to come, and it is coming, and there are countries who has already stopped adopted. Although in some of my previous events, I used to claim and I used to say that there is not a proper definition. So we are in the evolution, and we are like and it's a journey of evolution, a journey of transformation. So what happens? So NSIT and CSA, they came up with a lot of guidelines, and they have done an extensive work, and a lot of companies, they have started realizing the benefit. So before you talk about the cloud, we are talking about standardization within your data center, within what you have. Then you consolidate. So instead of having 30 database servers for the different versions, those 30 databases, you are paying for the licensing, you are paying for the backup, you are paying for the storage, you are paying for the administration cost for maintaining those support, legacy support stuff. And then you virtualize. And what happens basically, I have seen virtualization. You have 50 servers, yellow. 10 servers now. So now we are virtualized, alhamdulillah. Yes, virtualization is good, but that's not the best approach to virtualize. Yes, you may be having from 80 to 20 servers, yes, that's good, but still you haven't dramatized the cost reduction. So it is not just about the cost, it is about the quality of service. It is about where my application has to go 10 servers to bring one service. I just need to go and fetch from the central database server. I used to have a BI server in our environment, and when we run a small BI report, it used to take 3 days just to generate one report. Yes, everything works, but instead of finding the shortest path, I was just going the longest possible path, where my cost was higher, where the strategic decision at the board level cannot be made. How many of you, let me be interactive now, how many of you really having an access to the real information before you make a strategic decision? 1, 2, 3, something? I mean, it is not there. And that's the challenge, like we are talking about the Hadoop and different technologies which are in place and which are being emerged, where you can send your packets across different geographic locations, and where the data is being computed from the nearest location, from the nearest data center, where you can have the analytical data, where the business decision can be made. Those things are happening. So virtualization. When you talk about the virtualization, then you are talking about automation and self-service provisioning. You need to automate, you need to integrate. You see how you can integrate, how you can bring the value from whatever you have. In order to do one thing, you don't need to depend that there is something I need in order to do the first thing. From the project management perspective, because I am also project management practitioner. So from the project management perspective, project, every single thing, every single task we do it has a constraints. Without constraint, there is no life. We need to see and seek how we can manage those constraints. And then I need to quickly align and integrate, and then you are ready for the cloud. Whether you talk about the private cloud, hybrid cloud or the public cloud. Of course, public cloud, I don't think that the big enterprises or medium scale industries, they are simply going with the big, but there are things like a communication service, like email collaboration. Still, I think, my personal perspective, yes, you can go, why not? Because it's only a pipe, the email is coming and it's being delivered. However, there could be confidentiality, again, that depends, there is no answer for it, because it depends upon your priorities and upon your different things. I would like to skip all of this because I have been informed, so this is important for me to show this slide. I'll take 5 minutes, which has been given to me. Okay, the Ninja framework. Basically, Ninja, it's like a 9 jaws. So what I was trying to illustrate over here, what I'm saying, define goals. Step 1, you have to define your business goals. It's not about IT. It is about define goals and orchestrate a typical cloud-ready architecture in alignment with your organizational strategy. And when you're talking about the organization strategy, the strategy or the business goal come from top to down. But the alignment and improvement, efficiency, and you call exploitation from the to increase the utilization of the resources will come from the down to up, because the middle managers and the guys, core users, they are the guys who knows it. So it has to comply from both directions. It is not about whatever is being delivered, we have to do it, it will not go that way. So this is what I'm just trying, this is the only slide, this is my last slide. And I was saying the same thing which I was saying, like IT infrastructure assessment and its simplification. Simplifying the IT infrastructure will really help the administration cost reduction, will help the IT guys to sleep after the working hours, and the business also to feel and to have the confidence on the IT. And that's the biggest hurdle in terms of the cloud and all of that, you know. And then the capacity planning and automation, I think I talk like different elements, and the governance, which is the cloud, and this governance is always taking place. There is nothing like I did it one time, what you have done is good, it doesn't mean that that good is last forever. So I would like to thank you for being part of my session, and if there is any question.
Do you have any questions?
Thank you.